Hi gals, welcome back to another episode of Zero Waste Closet. I am so excited about this week's topic because I think it is something that a lot of you spend a lot of time thinking about. I hear conversations about this constantly in my store, and that is, how do I stay looking young and fresh yet age appropriate as I advance in my years? And I do see a lot of people with what I think are maybe notions of what they think are appropriate for their age, and I think it's keeping them kind of shackled into this idea that isn't necessarily true. And I think there are ways that you can look really young and really fresh and still be very tasteful and very classy and age appropriate. So we're going to look at some of the ways that we perhaps age ourselves in our look and little tweaks that we can make that keep us looking just a little more sprightly. So let's look at some of these principles. Gals, one thing I also want to throw out there before I start is just a little disclaimer. If you do not happen to agree with the things that I am saying, please do not take offense at all. These are just my ideas and opinions, and if what I am saying does not resonate with your personal style, that is totally okay. No judgment. The most important thing, and perhaps this is one of the key principles about keeping your look young and fresh, is that you do you. Don't do someone else's notion of what you think you should be. If you adhere to your true sense of personal style, what makes you feel great, well, that in itself is going to keep you looking young and fresh. So just please remember that from the get-go. Okay, so principle number one that I believe will help you keep your look young and fresh is to really try to mix it up. Okay, what do I mean by mix it up? Well, I talk all the time about this principle of contrast dressing. We've looked at this in a lot of different ways throughout my videos. We've even done this whole 2x2 principle. If you don't remember that one, go scroll back through the videos. I'll even drop a link below so that you can look at that video for a refresher. That is the whole idea that every outfit contains a couple of elements of contrast. So perhaps 2 elements of dressy mixed with 2 elements of casual, or 2 elements of feminine contrasted or juxtaposed with 2 elements of masculine. So contrast dressing. I think one of the things that can kind of age your look is when you look a little bit too formulaic. And that is this idea that everything has to coordinate perfectly. For instance, the idea that our shoes have to match our handbag, or that our jewelry, if we're wearing silver, everything has to be silver, or everything has to be gold. Being too cookie cutter or paint by numbers with our dressing, I think can make us look a little bit old-fashioned. And again, no judgment here. If you love that, then please do it, and then just own it. The idea that you're actually owning your look, again, is keeping you looking young and fresh. But if you really want to look edgy, you can be 95 years old and still look age appropriate, but just edgy and creative when you bring elements of contrast into the way that you dress. So some examples of contrast dressing, and again, we've looked at these throughout my videos because this is kind of just how I style everything, are things like taking a dress and instead of pairing it back to pretty little shoes, pair it back to some sneakers so that your outfit has a look of sporty chic. Or you might do something like taking a blazer, which is traditionally something that's a little more conservative, a little more polished, and putting it with a rougher cut, even distressed pair of jeans. And then for even greater contrast, again, throwing on some sneakers so you have that kind of street style look, or even putting a graphic t-shirt under that blazer so it doesn't just look like you're going to the office. Another way to keep your look young and fresh is to keep it simple. One of the things that I have noticed that I think can sometimes make us look a little bit more aged is over accessorizing, for instance, or too much play with color. I think if you want to keep it really classy, keep it clean. So I have some things that I tend to stick with that I just always feel like keep the look young. And that is, I tend to go with this idea of one conversation piece per outfit. And sometimes that's referred to as the hero piece. So it's like that piece that everybody notices right away about your outfit. And then the rest of the outfit is built around that. So your hero piece could just be a fabulous pair of earrings, or it could be the awesome shoes, or it could be the very bright and colorful shirt, and everything else around that is toned down so that the eye only focuses on one piece. When the eye is drawn to all types of things, it gets confused. So just in general, this is a good styling principle, but I think sometimes a look that can kind of age us is when we're bringing in too many plays on pattern within too many parts of the outfit. I think keeping it to solids, keeping it to a fairly simple color story, it just always helps to keep it really classy. There are so many examples I could give of keeping it simple, but a great example might be, and just a timeless look, would be a monochromatic jumpsuit. Something that's just really, really polished, really simple on the eye, and just flatters the figure. The eye doesn't get confused at all, just clean and simple. Another idea for having like one hero or conversation piece per outfit that just keeps your look young and fresh and very clean. It might be something simple like a white shirt, maybe like the white Riley shirt, paired back to some jeans, and that's very clean and simple, but then throw in a pop of color with a gorgeous bright handbag, and that's all of the attention that you need for the outfit. It keeps the look really clean. A third principle I like to adhere to when it comes to keeping it young and fresh is to really understand the difference between classy and stuffy, okay? So, and again, I hesitate to talk too much about this because I don't want anyone to feel as though I am criticizing their style at all. This is just, again, certain things that I think can age us, and if you're open to this idea, great. If not, no worries. But I think that when, this kind of ties in a little bit with being a little bit too formulaic in the way we dress, but when everything, like, let's say, fits perfectly in the shoulders versus a more relaxed drop shoulder, when everything is perfectly tucked in, again, being very formulaic here, when everything is just perfect, and I think that really can almost create a look of being a little bit older, being a little more conservative, and could even veer into a look of slightly stuffy. And again, you guys know I want to be careful here. No criticism of anyone. I think if you can take those same pieces and create a more relaxed vibe, you're gonna have a more youthful and yet still age appropriate look. So instead of looking for something to fit perfectly on with the seams hitting the shoulders, look for styles with a slight drop shoulder that just convey a more laid back, relaxed attitude. Maybe wear something with a collar, something that's perhaps a button down shirt that might be considered a more classic or even conservative piece, but instead of tucking it perfectly in, really start to master the art of like the half tuck. That look of perfectly imperfect is definitely one of those things that helps to keep it fresh. And you don't want to be perfectly imperfect from head to toe, because then that can go into sloppy, right? Like the polar opposite end of the scale. You just want a little something in your vibe to look a little bit imperfect. So again, that slight half tuck may be the only thing that you need to keep that look going with the perfectly imperfect vibe. And gals, finally, a fourth way that I think that we can keep it really fresh and keep our look young and yet age appropriate is to retain our personality when we are getting dressed. And I see this happen a lot. Women becoming a little more fearful as they get older of just letting themselves shine through. I'm not sure why we seem to have this expectation of ourselves that we have to keep it just a little more reined in as we get older in order to be age appropriate. appropriate. I totally disagree with this idea. So for instance, you can see right now I'm wearing a graphic t-shirt. It's a rock band t-shirt, and I have no idea why you cannot be 85 and sporting your favorite band on a t-shirt. You can still have all your likes and loves and show them off out loud to the world. Or if you like a slightly distressed jean, that's totally fine. Some people love that weathered look, and we're never too old to show off that personality. Remember to retain flavor in the way you get dressed. And so I also do see this fear of like not being perfect when it comes to things like weathered leathers, where, you know, a brand like Bed Stew is always, in fact, their motto is perfectly imperfect, and their shoes are all handmade, they're individually dyed. You're going to see a lot of variation. And so yes, you see this weathering, the shoes look kind of old and beat up, but that's cool, that's edgy, and it's okay to keep being edgy when getting dressed. So the things that I tend to advocate staying away from as we advance in years are actually very simple. And if you want to write this down, write it down, but my guess is you're probably already adhering to this. And that is nothing too short, nothing too deep cut, and not a whole lot of skin in inappropriate places like midriff showing. And this is not necessarily true for everyone. Or like, let's say you're going to the gym, you've got a rockin' body and you want to wear your sports bra and your leggings. You're never too old for that, and don't be shy about doing that. But I think when it just comes to keeping it classy, those are really the only rules I adhere by. Not too short, not too deep cut, not too much skin showing. And beyond that, I think you should let your personality shine through. Gals, if anything, I hope this video gave you a sense of permission to be who you are when it comes to getting dressed. And if you feel lost in your style, and this happens a lot as we pass different age milestones, I see women questioning their personal style and going, gosh, I just don't know who I am in my personal style, or I'm not sure how I'm supposed to dress anymore. Well, I hope this helped to clear up some of those concepts for you. If you're feeling like you're getting a little stuffy as you advance in years in the way that you dress, and you feel like you need a refresh, then I hope you review some of these principles. These are some really easy ways that you can bring some freshness back into your style and still feel like you are being classy and age appropriate. If you guys have any thoughts, ideas, comments, as I always say, please drop them in the comment section below. We love to hear from you. And if you have anything you'd like to share with me privately, please send me an email to lisa@shopchillstyle.com. We have so many fantastic things coming into store every single day right now. So stop in here to Chill Boutique here in Fountain Hills if you want to peruse our new fall collections, or jump online to www.shopchillstyle.com. If you guys liked this week's video and you want to see more like it, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. It really helps this channel. And of course, if you haven't already, make sure to jump on and subscribe to Zero Waste Closet. That way you guys get notifications whenever new videos come out. We're really trying to increase our numbers, so I appreciate it so much when you guys tell me you're encouraging your friends to subscribe. Please do so. Thank you so very much, and I cannot wait to see all of you soon.